Hello and welcome to the POV Farmer. I'll be uploading videos to this channel most days, and they will be about an hour long, and the idea is to kind of document the long form, mostly real-time transformation of this 3-acre hillside smallholding, which is situated in the Wicklow Mountains in Ireland. And the idea is that I'll do a bit of manual labour every day, whether that's most days. I'm going to have some days off. Whether that's like, growing veg, hand scything some grass, tending to the animals, de-weeding the front garden here, the front driveway, building stuff, cleaning things, just that kind of, recycling, and just basically hoping to kind of transform what's a mostly overgrown farm into eventually something really beautiful and productive and pretty, and just like kind of make it really sustainable and self-sufficient. Also, I've been here for about 2 months, and I don't know if you can hear that noise or not. It's very new to me. It happened last night. It's coming from over there somewhere. It sounds like it might be a machine gun. But Ireland isn't really known for its wars, or at least its wartime capability. Maybe it's some sort of training exercise or something like that. But anyway, so this first initial video is going to be just a quick tour of the farm itself, the small holding, to kind of give like a bit of a starting point of an idea of where we're at. Now, I've been here for about 2 months now, so I have done a bit already. But this is Mr. Burns, who's coming close to me, and he is very, very aggressive. My mum is in her 60s. The reason why I'm here, by the way, just to let you know, I'm going to ramble a bit. I'm going to kind of go back and forth, move around during this tour. And actually, while I'm here, if anyone's watching this, I'm not really doing this. Well, why I'm doing this is because I just wanted to kind of document it for myself, to kind of, keep myself busy, keep myself on track, and to be able to show family and friends, put together a compilation or kind of before and after type videos type thing or something like that. And then I thought, may as well stick it on YouTube. So if anyone is watching this, congratulations, fair play to you. But if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, or advice, because I really need advice because I have no idea what I'm doing. Just to give you a little bit about my background, I've lived in the UK for the last 6 years or so, working in the media. I used to work for an online media company, and I also worked for BBC. So this kind of rural, hands-on, practical DIY world is very new to me, so I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. And this is not something that even my mum, like, who, she works for a company in Dublin, but she just, we grew up pretty poor in a council house, and over the last 25-30 years, the council house area that we lived in kind of got a bit nicer and a bit more gentrified. So she sold that house and bought this area for cheaper during the pandemic. And she moved here with my brother and my sister. And my sister moved out quite soon afterwards with her boyfriend. And in June of this year, about 2 or 3 months ago, my younger brother, who was with her doing a lot of this, what you'll see is a lot of his work. He sadly passed away. And then in August of this year, it's October now, I moved back to kind of carry on his legacy and help out around, because like I said, my mum's in her 60s. She's active and stuff, but like she just can't do some of the physical stuff that would be required to keep this place in check. Those guns, man. Like, I mean, I'm trying to give off this kind of nice peaceful vibe here, and they're not really helping it, but it's all good. So anyway, in this tour video, I'm just going to go around, show you where I'm at, show you where we're starting at, tell you some of the projects that I've got up planned, and also to kind of like you know, hopefully if anyone is watching this, just let me know how you can help. What can I do better? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I told you, like, you know, you know, the biggest thing I've ever built is like an IKEA table, which I messed up big time back in the day. I put together a chair with IKEA furniture, you know what I mean? So I'm using like old rusty tools. A lot of the stuff I'm using is like salvaged and just forage stuff. But I really like getting stuck in and getting involved, so hopefully I'll get better and improve. But also as well, if you don't like me talking, just tell me to shut up, you know. Or just mute me. I don't really mind. Play some music, play some other farm noise in the background alongside this video if you just want the ASMR Zen type feeling of being out in the middle of nowhere. Because where we are really is quite remote enough to have a shooting range, a training exercise nearby, and no one to get bothered apart from me. There's no phone signal here, so I'll never be able to really do a live stream. But eventually I'd like to kind of figure out how, some way down the line. That'll be kind of fun and cool. But yeah, so every day I'll be looking after chickens. We've got some pigs over there. You'll meet them in a second. We got some organic veg. All of this is going to be organic, by the way, if I haven't said that already. And I'll be doing different stuff every day. The idea is to try and, like, you know, I've got lots of stuff to do. I'm just going to check on the eggs actually at the moment. I've got lots of stuff to do. This is the coop. This is their run. But in the morning we let them out, so they've got this whole land. They're very free-range chickens. And they've got 2 little coops to sleep in. But the idea is that every day I'll do something slightly different from the day before. So it won't be just, you know, some days I might just spend literally an hour de-weeding the front path there because it needs to be done most days. And some days you'll get that, but I promise you won't get it 2 days in a row because that's going to be dull. I took a scything course about a couple of weeks ago. So I've been learning how to manually cut the grass to make hay for the pigs. And also as well, just to let you all know, I'm a vegetarian. None of these animals are going to be eaten by me. My mum is not a vegetarian. And well, I'll tell you about the pigs in a second, but they're okay. Spoiler alert, they're going to be safe. They're pets, they're going to live. But they nearly didn't. Oh, Jesus, there's a chicken in here. I just don't know if you can see him, and I didn't expect that. Hello. This is Patty. May as well meet the chickens. This is Patty. She's taking a little rest. She's probably laying an egg or sitting on an egg. I know, don't worry. It's okay. This one here beside her is Selma. So we got Patty and Selma. This white one is called Aunt Gladys. The rooster is called C. Montgomery Burns, or just Mr. Burns for short. I think she's just laid an egg, you know. Hear that noise? She's either telling me to go away or she's laid an egg. They do that kind of, as far as I can tell, they do this kind of classic chicken noise when they're laying eggs. And they lay them in here all the time in this room. And they do have this one. So there is a chickie was born, which you'll meet eventually, to the mother Mrs. Bouvier. And she laid the chick in here and was sitting on the eggs in here. But apart from that, that's falling off. Need to repair that. Apart from that, they don't really use this one. But they sit in this one, they sleep in this one all together, they all huddle up. They got plenty of fresh water. 2 little Baptist bowls here, which we replace. This is their feed container. And so basically what they do is I don't know how much you can see this because I can't really see my camera, but they stand in there and they peck and they eat all the food that comes out. But occasionally also, it's very full at the moment as well, and also I'll give them like little bits. So. But anyway, Mr. Burns is a very aggressive man. I don't know if I told you this. So when my mum got the chickens, the farmer who she got them from was like, would you want a cockerel as well? Because the cockerel keeps attacking my daughter. My mum was like, oh no, a little girl's getting attacked by a chicken, I'll take him in. And it turns out the farmer's daughter was like 32 or something. And now he just attacks us as well. And he's very aggressive. He's got like the spurs. I don't know if you can see them or not, but on the back of his legs, he's got 2 massive hooks. And he actually drew blood on my mum a few weeks ago. He went through her Wellington boot and drew blood and got her 3 times with a spur, not a peck, with a spur. But moving up see, as you can see, like a lot of it's overgrown, you know. This place needs a lot of work, especially if we're doing it all by hand. My brother built these kind of grow boxes, which I really like. I'd love to get an aerial view of them, actually. I'd say it looks really nice from up in the sky, if I can do that. But see, a lot of it we've already eaten, actually. But there was onions, some potatoes, different types of potatoes. We got some beans, leeks, fennel, salad. That's rocket there. A lot of it got eaten by the slugs as well. So the way I feel is that everyone should eat on this farm. Slugs, they're allowed to eat. Why not? It's not fair if I just hoard it all for myself. And plenty to go around. It's a bit of a communist farm in that sense, I suppose. But here behind this old plough that my brother found and put in the middle is Mrs. Bouvier and the chick, who was born probably about a month ago at this point, maybe even less. It's quite young, but he's getting really big already. There's a logging truck. So as you can see, no shortage of trees. And I don't know if you can see way up in there behind, up there, they cut them down from there, and also up on that hill as well. But I think this is a bit of a managed forest. They kind of grow them and then cut them down, then grow them and cut them down. But yeah, so this chickie, this little baby chick. So if you hadn't tell already, we've named them after Simpsons characters. So we've got Paddy and Selma, Aunt Gladys, and this is Mrs. Bouvier, the mother. And if the chick is a girl, we're going to call her Marge. And if it's a boy, we're going to call him Bort. But we don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. And if it is a boy, I don't know what we're going to do, because I'm not sure if the two lads are going to fight each other for dominance. We'll figure that out and maybe make them a separate pen and get more chickies to kind of look after them. But yeah, so these carrots are here. They're really nice. I've been eating. So my brother grew most of this stuff with my mum. So I've been eating off his work, which is great. I get to eat organic potatoes and carrots. So yeah, this video will be also like picking these things, planting this stuff. If you want, I can do some cookery videos. In my media job, I worked for a very big, prominent food channel, so I do know a little bit about cooking. I'm not great. I'm not professionally trained or anything like that, but I can whip up a meal. We got some runner beans here, or some beans here, which have been they're actually a bit old, to be honest with you. They should have been picked a while ago. They're quite hard. I'll grab one of them now. Ooh, didn't mean to that. See, I'm totally inexperienced. I have no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll grab some of these, and you can meet the pigs. So these pigs, my mum originally got them to rear them and then basically have them slaughtered and eat them. They're fully registered, but they have an organic diet, as do these guys. They get an organic feed diet as well. But my younger brother never wanted to do that. He was a vegetarian as well. And after he passed, we convinced my mum to keep them as pets in his honour, which is the biggest swindle ever. And we got to name them as well. So they're called Wigsy and Woo. This guy is Wigsy. He's got a slightly curlier tail, so like a wiggle. And this is Woo, and he's got more spots like a woo. And they are very friendly and very boisterous. Hey, Wigsy, come here. And they spend all their days just digging up the land for me, pooing on it, cuddling and eating, and they're so friendly. They're very charismatic. They're charming pigs, as Samuel L. Jackson would have put it. Look at them. They're great fun. They're going to get 5 times bigger apparently. They're only about like a few months old, you know what I mean? They're less than a year, because they've only been living here for less than a year. My mum has, and it'll be a year in November, I think. It's October now. All right, lads. Okay, I know. I've got no more. You should see them in the morning. I'll feed them in the morning someday, and you can see what happens. They go mad. They love their food. They will literally run towards you, like sprint towards you, and squeal. It's terrifying. But yeah, so a lot of it, I'll be shoveling all this as well. I need to clean up their thing and compost this so we can use it for next year in the garden. But with these grow boxes, what I want to do is basically either, I don't know if I'll keep them or make more. Maybe I'll keep those ones as a kind of a nice, because I don't want to get rid of all of this. Ow! Don't bite me, we made a deal. Sorry, these guys do not respect the deal. So basically, when I moved here, I made a deal with these guys, okay? I wouldn't eat them and they wouldn't eat me. And so far, I have upheld my end of the bargain, and they break their deal on a near daily basis. They've bitten me. They don't bite you, they just kind of nip at you. Like, they want your attention, or they want your boots. They love my boots. I used to come in here when it was sunnier and drier. I'd come in here in my sandals. I love wearing sandals. And I swear, if I wasn't quick-footed, then I would have lost a toe. So on the day one, day two, I would have lost toes every day. But let me show you their house at the moment. So they've been living here, like I said, for like, the pigs have been here for 8 or 9 months or something like that. And basically, initially, that electric fence, by the way, it's a very low voltage. It was actually only put in initially because one of the dogs who you'll get to meet, and when these guys were piglets and the dog was bigger than him, wanted to go say hi, and was a bit chasey, not aggressive, but just wanted to chase them and bother them. So we put the electric fence up to kind of protect them, but also it kind of helps keep these guys in line. They don't even get shocked anymore, really. When they first went up to it, they kind of explored it and got a little shocked, but like, I've been shocked by it a couple of times. It's not big at all. It's like a 9-volt battery or something like that, even less, I'm not sure. But when I first got here, we had to move the electric fence. I wanted to give them a bit more room because they were just here and they were a bit smaller. You can kind of see the line of where they were. And what we did was we moved all the fence back to where it is now. But we don't have a lawnmower or a strimmer or anything like that. All we had was a pair of secateurs. So I cut this grass, which was at the time pretty much all like this, even longer, because it was in like, it was like July or August when I was first here. I came back for the funeral for a few weeks and then moved back permanently afterwards. But this grass was thick, heavy stuff, and I cut all the way up to the top there with a pair of scissors. It's a pair of secateurs, but it's funnier to say scissors. Let me go to their house there real quick. Let me make sure they've got water as well. But anyway, so when I go to the other field, I'll show you what I'm planning for these guys soon. But yeah, Wigsy and Woo. So the reason why they're called Wigsy and Woo, by the way, is because my younger brother was called Tig. And when he was a kid, my dad used to call him Tigsy Wigsy Woo. So as a little like kind of in honor of him, we called them Wigsy and Woo. Plus they're cool pigs' names. So that's kind of nice. So this is where they kind of, I don't know if you can see or hear that soil. It's very tender, very good stuff. But yeah, these guys have got a pretty good life, and they've got whatever they want. They're so strong. This is one of their water bottles, which we fill up with a mixture of rainwater and water from a hose. They can run as well, they can move. If they wanted to go for you, they get you, like big floppy ears on them. That's Woo. This one's Wigsy. And then at night time they put themselves to bed in here, which looks a bit dark, but they kind of like it, you know. They go around here. I don't know how much the camera's going to pick this up. I'm only used this once or twice before. I haven't got it recently. But they use the hand-cut hay to make their own nest. And basically, if I put hay in the front door here, they'll push it in and fashion it into a little bed for themselves, and they snuggle up together at night. Hey! Whoa! They're so strong. Look at him, he's just scratching himself. He's literally just scratching his arse. They do like a scratch. You know, let's give him a little scratch now, actually. I'll spend a whole day with these guys. I love these guys. They're really good fun. But maybe I'll spend an hour video with these guys soon, and we'll just hang out with them for a while. But like, I've got this little rubber. Got a little brush here that my brother put up. They're very cute. No offense to anyone who's not a vegetarian, but if you ever meet these guys, you probably will become a vegetarian. I wasn't a vegetarian for a long time. I'm only new to it. It's like less than 2 years, to be honest with you, and really only about since the start of this year, full time, not eating meat at all. Even last year, I ate occasionally. So, you know, no judgment here. But here is where I store all the hay that I've been cutting with my scythe by hand from the other field. And there's a good bit of it, so that'll be extra warm for winter. Make sure these guys are treated well. There's Wigsy and Woo. We've met the animals. We'll move on to the other side of the field. I kind of want to find out what that noise is. It really sounds like a machine gun, but if it is a machine gun, then I don't want to get too close to it. But yeah, so this is what rural life in Ireland is a bit like for me anyway. I don't know what it's like for anyone else, but for me it's kind of pretty peaceful and tranquil, and it's kind of exactly what I need right now. And like I said, I've got no skills or experience, but my younger brother used to say brute force and ignorance. That was his kind of catchphrase, and that's kind of what I've adopted here. I'm just going for it, jump straight in, do the best I can, and hopefully we'll end up with something beautiful. So I'm going to work on not clearing my throat as much. Hopefully I haven't just brought that to your attention that I do it all the time. But up here, do you know, there is actually some more veg here. I don't know why they planted stuff so far away. Like I don't want to give out, but like they literally just planted stuff just randomly. Like they got that stuff there in the middle, that's kind of cool, that's fine. But then they got this patch here, which is like squashes and cucumbers and courgettes and stuff. Not quite cucumber and courgettes. There's a nice little one there. I'm sure you can see that. Let me just see if I can get close to that one. There you go. But the slugs, this is mostly slug food, to be honest with you. They love this stuff. And then over here there's some bushes. I think it's currants, like red currants or black currants or something like that. These little dudes here, these are like little red currants or black currants. That's something else as well, something eventually edible. That's edible, I think, same stuff. We've got some outdoor tomatoes here that didn't really quite make it, I don't think. It's probably missed their season because it is early October at the moment. He tried his best, nearly made it. We've got some strawberries down here, and they've given off lots of runners. So, and like I said, I'm learning about this as I go. But basically, this guy here is a runner, and what happens is they come out of the strawberry plant, and every so often they'll sprout a runner, and this guy will go out and try to find a new patch of land to plant himself into, and then grow a new strawberry tree or bush. So basically, if you kind of multiply this out, you can eventually have infinite strawberries for free. So that's nice, that's pretty cool. Got that going for us. Here's our little tool shed. We've got some, just like I said, like really basic hand tools. A lot of it was left behind by the previous owners. Like, no idea even what to do with this thing. I'll figure it out. I'll just look down there for you, make sure you can see that. There's the scissors, look, there's the secateurs. Still got grass on them. Haven't been used since. There's what I used to cut the grass. And then we've got this little small micro polytunnel thing, and the zip broke on it recently, so I want to repair that. That'll be on my list of chores to do. And inside here you can see the tomatoes are doing a lot better. Oh, it smells so good in here. I wish you could smell through the camera. It smells great. But I have some of those tomatoes. Do you know, I might actually have one now because that looks lovely. There you go, look, it looks lovely. Oh, it is very cozy and warm. What's kind of interesting about growing your own veg is that, in a slightly disappointing way, it tastes exactly like store-bought veg, and you kind of hope it's going to taste amazing and totally different and like flavors that you've never experienced before. But that tomato tastes like a tomato, which is cool. But I was kind of hoping it would taste, like I said, like some sort of like explosion of flavor. You know, it is really good though. This is our 3-stage composting heap. And my brother built this out of old pallets and stuff. I think his girlfriend was quite handy. I think she actually did more of the work than him. She knew a bit about woodworking. She's currently in Europe, but I think she's coming back. She lived with us for a while after he passed, and then she went to visit some friends in Germany, I think, and she kind of traveled around Europe a little bit, and she's coming back soon, and then eventually she's going to move back home to Chile, I think. But she did a lot of work here as well with him, probably more than him, to be honest with you. So I'm not inheriting any good DIY genes, or we don't have any shared DIY genes. But anyway, they built this kind of 3-stage composter heap. They've got past about a third into the first one. This is just a little bit of carpet that they use as a lid. As you can see, lots of eggshells, lots of bugs. That's a compostable cup. Lots of coffee beans as well. I drink a lot of coffee. But basically, when that one gets full, then this one will get full, and when that one gets full, this one will get full. There's the house, and down here, this little wooden box is thousands and thousands of, well, not thousands, lots and lots of bees. We have a hive of bees who are going to hopefully give us some honey soon. Don't know if you can hear that or not. But I'll definitely do videos where I suit up and just get massively intimidated by thousands of stinging bugs. I've done it once. I've only done it once so far. It's absolutely terrifying. Because bees have this amazing ability to sit on the net of your face, and then also to just try to fly into where your ear is. So all you can hear is buzzing, and it's just zzz, right in your ear. So this is the other half of the field, which, as you can see, is much, much worse. It's really overgrown, and it's very steep. And from my limited online research, apparently steep hills aren't great for crops, because the nutrients, when it rains, the nutrients run down to the bottom. I assume that's true. That's why there's always sheep in these kind of fields. But I'm going to try to defy logic and successfully grow lots of veg in here eventually, hopefully. That's the plan. But I'm going to go to the very top here first anyway, because it is very steep and very, very big and very tall. You can kind of see some little walking paths we've already taken. But when you get up here, it's worth it, because the view is just lovely. Probably won't go to the very corner. Maybe, let's go to the corner. So like I said, this tour is just going to be, showing you what we got, explaining the idea, explaining the plan, and then hopefully giving a few little ideas for future videos. I suppose I may as well point this out. I'm not doing this to go viral or to become like a YouTube channel. I mean, it is a YouTube channel, but like, it's not going to be like, whoa, we built a water slide on the side of a farm. What happens when you try to hatch 100 chicken eggs? I'm not going to do anything like that. There'll be no, not even clickbait, but no like typical stunty YouTube videos. This is going to be long, zen. If you want to see somebody working with their hands slowly and probably kind of badly, then this is the channel for you. And probably give you that kind of zen ASMR kind of hit that you might be looking for. If you used to be anything like me, I used to be a lot fitter. I can't be getting out of breath up here. But if you work the way I used to work, then I could have done with something like this personally back in the day when I was working myself half to death in the media for a modest salary. But so there's the house on the left, the big white thing. The bigger thing on the right is our barn and a little gazebo with a hot tub underneath it. It's like not quite inflatable. It's probably like one up from an inflatable one. It's like foamed walls, so it's not like crazy expensive. But it was a purchase I made when I was in the UK, and I was massively burnt out, outrageously burnt out, and I just wanted something to kind of relax and rest and help me unwind and just get through till tomorrow. because my job, literally, like I said, I was getting heart palpitations and things like that. Like my, I was working myself half to death, if not fully to death. And so I bought this thing as a kind of as a weird reflex purchase. But I use it every day. I'd come home, I'd work, get up in the morning, work all day, come home absolutely exhausted, sit in the tub for an hour or two, zone out, like while my girlfriend was trying to have a conversation with me and I was just too tired to respond, and then go to sleep. And that was my life for 5 or 6 years, and it was exciting and thrilling, but it was also pretty miserable and tough. So this would be more fun. But if you can get one of these and you can afford and you have the space for it, then I thoroughly recommend it, because it is really, really nice. It's just a big bath with lots of bubbles. And the inflatable ones are quite cheap. And I had an inflatable one as well, but it broke. But so this wooden teepee thing in the front here used to be covered in tarp and blankets and mattress covers and all this kind of stuff, sheets and coats. And basically my younger brother was using this as a sweat lodge. He is a bit of a hippie. He had dreadlocks. He was into he was a big festival guy, and he used to, like, you know, work in a health food shop and take juice shots and drink, you know, blended garlic and stuff like that. I don't think he actually did any help. It didn't really help him in the end, I suppose, but he liked it, so can't really complain. But yeah, he built himself this little sweat lodge, and it's just held together with duct tape. As you can see, it's just taped up at the top with a bit of string. And basically this is all covered in tarp, and he heat these stones up over a fire, and then put them in here and sit in it until he was just drenching in sweat. I never actually saw him in this house. I don't know what he got up to on a very day-to-day basis, but we used to talk online quite a lot during the pandemic. But he used to sit in that thing until he was like dripping with sweat, and then he'd run down the hill there. At the bottom of the hill there's a stream, like a little river, which I'll show you. And he used to dive into the river, get freezing cold, and then sprint back up here, back into a sweat lodge, and then repeat that a few times. So fair play to him, I suppose. This little, as you can see, this little section here is a bit where the rake is. I assume you can see that. It's a bit shorter, because this is where I started my scything. And if you don't know, a scythe is like one of those Grim Reaper's tools, like a big stick with a hook blade on the end. And basically you just slowly cut the grass by hand. There's also a lot of rubbish here, like just a leftover satellite from somewhere. We never had a satellite. I don't know what it's doing there. It's just here. It was up there and I moved it the other way after I cut here. But yeah, so I've cut this little section here, and I think you saw the hay earlier on. That's what I got out of that. And I've got all of this left. And apparently when I did my course in scything, the scything guy said that basically an acre, back in the day, an acre of land is what one person could do, what one person could scythe in a day. So an acre was about a day's work. And apparently we've got 3 acres. But at my current speed, if you count how much I'm scything per day, we've got about 200 acres. So who's right and who's wrong, I don't know. So basically what I'm doing here, this monstrosity that you see before you, is going to be a semi-permanent pig house for the 2 lads, Wigsy and Woo. And the idea is that we bring them over here and section off parts of the land, and they can help me cut the grass and dig it up and chop it up, so we can all work together as a team together at once. We had an experiment there a while ago where we brought them in, and basically, like, you can kind of see this little kennel here. And what I did was, as a very temporary solution, just for a night, the plan was to kind of get these insulation boards that were lying here already, and put them, we had another one, you can see that one on the floor down there. We had that one here, and then the second one there, and then we put the metal corrugated panels on top of that. And there's some hay, and the idea was that just for that one night, they were going to sleep in here, and then wake up and then eat more. And so they're here we moved them over at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I think. And then at about 6, when it started getting a little bit dim, they're just like, okay, I'm going to bed. And they just smashed their way through all the barriers we made. This bath was here. We had another one of those insulation panels going across here to try and block them in. They just lifted it up. They literally just got their head and went woof, knocked it over, went up here, pushed through this fence as well. They literally... They see this bit here, we need to put a new post. They just climbed over this way and then back over it this way as well. That's why it's so flat, because they literally just smushed it down. One of them managed to get under this part of the fence too. They just went nuts. Like, they just started running amok about 6 o'clock when it started getting dark. And because they'd move over this way and like, okay, come on, let's go back in. And I try to push them in. And they just wouldn't have it. They kept on wanting to get back in. And I think it's because they wanted to go back to their regular bed. I think they were like, okay, it's getting dark, time to hit the hay, as they say. So we just moved them back over and let them sleep in their own bed. But the idea is to give them this as a more nicer structure. So what I've done is, this is all foraged wood, not foraged, repurposed wood. There was a crate, there's part of it, up in their barn that was left behind from the previous owners. And I got all these little bits of panels, little bits of like supporting beams, and used that underneath this. These roofs aren't on secured yet at all, so I need to choose which ones go on the top and which ones go on the side. But as you can see on that top supporting frame there, this is actually the headboard of an old bed that we had. So I was just like, okay, use it as a top. That bit there is the footboard. I hope you can see that. But it feels quite secure, you know what I mean? I don't know if, like, they're very strong, so I probably realistically give them about 20 minutes before they just completely smash it up. But hopefully it lasts a bit longer. But the idea is that we get these insulation boards, which are very heavy. And they've got little bits of foam. They've got this kind of insulation foam inside, but this is metal on both sides. But I want to cut them to size and place them inside here. So I assume you can see this. I want to place the insulation boards in here to there on both sides, and then another one at the back. And then I don't know what to do with the floor. The pig guy that we got the pigs from told us that we should just put hay directly on the ground. This isn't the final location, by the way. I'm going to get rid of all that stuff. But he said that we should put the hay directly on the ground and it'll be warmer for them to sleep in. But this guy is also a pig rearer, and, you know, not to disrespect the guy, but his lifestyle involves rearing pigs, to be fair, in a very nice location. Like, they all are well looked after. Apparently I haven't been there, but I've heard they're well looked after. My mum visited them. But his job is basically to rear pigs until they're old enough to be slaughtered, and then he does that. So I'm going to try to get a second opinion, to talk to an animal rescue shelter and see if they think we should get a wooden floor as well as the hay to kind of keep them warm. Whatever's going to be warm and cozy for the pigs, that's what I want to do for them. But all this metal roofing panel stuff, this is all just left behind. As you can see, it's very rusty and smushed, and this one here is a bit wrecked. But I carried this all by hand from up there where the pigs were to down here, and it's tough work. But I think I've got enough pieces to kind of really cover it up. So basically the plan is that, as you can see, and this is what I'll be working on tomorrow for the video, or the next video I do, I'll probably be doing some of this, is I've already attached this one at the top. It still needs to go at the bottom, but I'm going to put another one here and it'll overhang. I'm going to put another one here at the top and it'll overhang to about there, and the idea is that it'll be nice and protected from the weather. And then I'm going to put like 3 of them across the top, 2 on this side, and then another one at the back, which I'll have to cut to shape. 2 at the back, actually, again, same kind of deal. It was like an overhang. And then that's also, like, as you can see, some of them have holes in the tops where they've been plugged into somewhere else, like, because we used this one, got a hole right in the middle here, so I'm going to have to plug them up somehow to make sure the rain stays out. Whether that's filler or some sort of tarp, but I'm reluctant to use tarp because when the pigs got into here, the first thing they did was start eating the sweat lodge because they just like to mess with material. Anything that's available, they'll chew it up, you know. Every so often, they don't, not so much anymore, but when we first moved here, they kept on digging up bits of old string that were in there. And plastics and stuff like that were just dumped. Just little bits, not loads of it, but just little occasional like bits of string or a bit of plastic or something like that, and they dig it up and start chewing it, so we just take it off them and throw it away. But they just love to explore and find new tastes and flavours. And also, I assume you can see this, is that I built this at a slight angle from left to right. So the entrance is on the left, they're going to go in that side, and this is going blocked off on the back. And it's kind of built for when they get big enough as well. I want to make it small enough so it's nice and cozy, but also when they get bigger, they can still fit in it, so I don't have to readjust it. Because they're going to grow pretty big, I think. They're going to get 5 times bigger apparently, but I don't know how quick that's going to take. But yeah, I built it at an angle so when the roof goes on, the water will drip down and fly off the back and not into their house, or sit on the top and weigh it down. So that's what I'm kind of currently working on. And I suppose now is a good time as any to wrap this video up, because I have been rambling for a long time. But yeah, if anyone is still with me, I appreciate it. You've got a lot of staying power, well done, congratulations. But yeah, please, if you have any tips or advice, if you do any DIY, if you know anything about farming, animal rearing, anything like that, like just throw some comments, message me, because you know, I don't know what I don't know, and I know the only thing I do know is that I don't know enough. But if you have any comments or questions, or like I said, if you want me to shut up, you can either mute me, or I could try to not talk in the next one. Maybe if you just want to hear some Zen, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But like I said, the initial plan was to try and just make some videos for myself to kind of document it and kind of get some before and after photos, and then I decided afterwards to stick it on YouTube. So it's not, you know, what we do is it's for you. I don't really mind. It's not my channel, it's our channel, in a very democratic way. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this first initial tour. The next video we'll be doing some more serious work. All right, well look, thanks for watching The POV Farmer, and I will see you next time.